Hi, everyone. It is that time again for Weather Impact Live. Thanks for joining me on your Sunday morning, spending the next, 26 minutes with me. We're going to be talking about all things weather. And boy, oh boy, we got a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack here, not only in the Bay Area, but also elsewhere across the U.S. A lot of folks traveling, trying to get back to the Bay Area from the holiday weekend, which was not so easy. I was amongst one of those that had flights rerouted, canceled, delayed, rebooked, all the above, and eventually ending up flying into Orlando anyway. We'll get to that. But first, let's talk about what's happening outside your window on this Sunday morning. And you know what? We had that dense fog advisory in place up until about 10 a.m. And that has since come down. We still, we're hoisting the weather impact alert for tomorrow morning, again for more fog. So thankfully the alert is pretty much done with for today, but tomorrow is a whole different story. Winds, for the most part, they're starting to register in a few locations. Now, why is the wind important? And in this instance, almost more important is just the speed than the direction. And here's why. When we have relatively clear skies, light winds, lots of moisture, that is a good breeding ground for some fog. And that's exactly what we had last night. Came into work this morning. We had calm winds across the board. None of those numbers were up there, like the 5 miles an hour in Lakeland, Winter Haven at 6, Clearwater at 5. We had none of that this morning. It was calm, calm, calm everywhere, and that helped the formation of fog, and it was pretty thick this morning. The dense fog advisory is down. The sky is trying to clear out. We've got mainly sunny skies, but even leaving the station here, grabbing a cup of coffee this morning, we had sunny skies at the station on Gandy Boulevard. You get down to 4th Street in St. Pete, and the fog was much more prevalent there, literally a couple miles down the road. So here's the story this morning. St. Pete's at 67, Clearwater's at 69, but you head a little further to the north where it hasn't been as foggy, and those temperatures have done a little bit better. West Chase at 72, Tarpon Springs at 73 now, Trinity at about 74 as well. We widen the view just a little bit and heading a little further to the south, and those temperatures have been, for the most part, 60s and 70s. Lakewood Ranch at 67, Sarasota at 72, Sebring at about 71 degrees. On our way up, we're going to see highs today in the mid-70s, so should be a nice day, should be a nice afternoon, and we're on the way. Let's check it out. We take this 6-box shot full. St. Pete looking good now. We had some clouds in place there. Lakeland, again, looking okay. A few more clouds lingering there. Sarasota also looking good. Armature Works looks great. Downtown Tampa also looks pretty good. So don't forget the shades. Clearwater, if today is a beach day, and keep in mind, Gulf temperatures in the upper 60s, about 68 degrees right now, so maybe not. All right, so good news. Dense fog advisory for the most part has come down. This will likely come back up for tomorrow as well, so just be mindful of this. Tomorrow, it's Monday. It's definitely a work day, and for many, back to school for a lot of kids as well. All right, current visibilities, they are much, much better, except that pocket in St. Pete. And now that's sort of an anomaly, obviously. Everywhere else, you've got fantastic visibility. But St. Pete has got that goose egg. We go from 10-mile visibility in Tampa to 0 in St. Pete. Sarasota at 10 as well. So, yeah, I talked about the fog moments ago on 4th Street. So that continues. So just that little ribbon happening there. All right, let's run through Futurecast here. 3 o'clock this afternoon. For the most part, looks pretty good. 75 degrees. The wind is south and west at 3, so still very much so on the light side here. So mariners, if you're not dealing with any fog, it's a good boating day with those light winds. West wind at 5. At about 5:50, 6 o'clock or so. So still very much so on the lighter side. And then as we move in towards 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock tonight, we've got those temperatures in the mid-60s, northwestern wind at about 4 as well. And then as we head in towards the overnight hours, those temperatures still mild, and that's part of the contributing factor for some of the fog are those milder temperatures, the calm or really, really light winds. If it's just registering a couple miles an hour, it's still certainly enough to not mix out any fog and lead to the formation of that. So, and obviously you got to have the moisture, high moisture content, but not enough for it to rain. Often when it starts raining, that sort of dissipates and negates the fog. So we don't have that either. So could be another good morning for fog tomorrow morning. Just be careful of some foggy spots as you make your way out tomorrow morning. 5:30, still dealing with it. 7 o'clock, the wind is still calm. Those calm winds are with us all the way up until about 9:10. And I'll show you on the fog forecast map, which is very similar to this one, where it is forecasting the fog to remain in place, up until 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, a little bit longer than this morning. And that's even worse because it's Monday. And of course, a lot of folks heading to work. All right. So as we head in towards the afternoon hours of tomorrow, you'll notice that by 12:30, 1 o'clock, here comes the front. So this is a cold front, 3, 4 o'clock. And look at how piddly the moisture is with that. Look at it kind of dissipate and break apart. And it might hold up. We have about a 10% chance of a shower, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock or so. You can see that weak, feeble line moving through. It's weak and feeble in the sense of moisture with it. It is very much so not weak and feeble in terms of the cold air behind it. So the cold air is going to pack a wallop once that frontal boundary moves through. Into Tuesday morning, you can see the wind goes northerly, and yeah, that cold air is going to start filling in. Now, Tuesday morning is not the cold morning. The cold mornings are Wednesday and even Thursday morning. So again, we'll get to that. We got some maps to show you for that as well. As we head in towards midday on Tuesday, wind is still northerly. That's a cool wind direction. 1 o'clock, couple of clouds streaming on by. 2, 3 o'clock, same sort of scenario as we head in towards Tuesday evening as well. Very much so, still dealing with a little more of the same. All right, so visibility, this is a forecast. So going back to the foggy issues of tomorrow morning, it's just about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Look at that fog. That is a wicked line of demarcation, if you will, or line of fog right through there. Wow. So that's solid. I mean, that is covered and smothered. That is the best Waffle House special you'll see there. So there it is. To this side of the line, lots of fog. Off to the east, no fog. It seems like Orlando is the land of right in between there. Orlando is the Switzerland of fog and no fog. So heading up I-4, at least on this side, from Orlando to the west, to Tampa, I-4, 75, 275. Oof. Yeah, you bet there are going to be 1 or 2 malfunctions tomorrow in Malfunction Junction, that's for sure. So I would leave plenty of extra time tomorrow. All right, so there is that line, that fog bank, excuse me, in place here tomorrow. Visibility's about a half mile, 9 a.m., moving to 9, 10, 11 o'clock. The visibility in Tampa, still not good. And it's 11 o'clock in the morning. It's kind of rare for us for that to kind of linger that long. So I'm just going to draw that little line there for you. And there's that pocket of fog extending almost towards the first coast, and then from Jacksonville down to Dade City. Lutz, visibility's not great. Tampa's not great either. And then you head down to Apollo Beach, not great, 4.5 miles. I mean, it's not bad. It's not pea soup thick, certainly. It's not below a 1/10 of a mile or a 1/4 of a mile or half mile, but not awesome there either. It's going to take until the afternoon hours to see things kind of move out and for our forecast to kind of get a little bit better. Excuse me. All right, so weather impact alert number 2 is, of course, the cold air. And the cold air will get here as we move in towards Wednesday and Thursday as well. So just be mindful of that. That's with that cold front. So the cold front is going to dissipate the fog, which is good news. But unfortunately, we're going to be left with the cold temperatures. All right, travel forecast looks like this. And as we head in towards your Sunday, okay, but here comes the rain and here comes the snow as well. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back with much more after this.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
With a fresh new look and over 60 years of keeping Floridians comfortable, Cool Today is the name to trust for fast same-day service. Cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Our friendly expert technicians take the hassle out of home repair today. And Cool Today is here for you tomorrow, too. That's why we're introducing a parts and labor warranty on select AC systems for a lifetime. For cooling, plumbing, or electrical service, get the best from today and for years to come. Cool today.
Windows are created and installed with different levels of quality. You need quality that can withstand the tropical climate. Our installers only install PGT custom windows and doors, so we are the go-to experts. Don't take my word for it. We have been named Best of Tampa Bay 3 years in a row, Reader's Choice in Sarasota 3 years in a row, and nationally recognized as Window and Door Dealer of the Year. Price is what you pay, but value is what you get. Give WeatherTight Windows a call today, and don't forget the cookies.
I was driving when a Ford pickup truck barreled into me from behind, sending me to the hospital.
I knew my husband was going to need an excellent attorney, so I called Dan Newland.
I'm so glad my wife called Dan. Dan really fought for me. He won my case and got me $650,000.
If you've been involved in a car accident, allow me to fight for you. Call me now, 813-888-8000.
Thanks, Dan, for winning my husband's case.
Meteorologist James Gregorio, and you are joining us on Weather Impact Live on this Sunday. So thanks for spending some time with me. Hopefully you'll watch the entire show for the full 26 minutes. If not, well, we'll take whatever we can get. All right, anyway, let's check out what's happening here. Travel forecast. We talked about the fog. We're going to talk about the cold, but if you have been traveling, it has just been really difficult. The snow in the Northeast, the snow in New York and New Jersey, depending on where you were in New Jersey, you had snow. Elsewhere, you didn't. That's a whole other story. But everybody there generally had some element of ice and sleet and frozen rain, and that really kind of snarled air traffic for the last couple of days. Throw into that some air traffic control issues here in Florida on Friday, and lots of private aviation heading, Learjets, things of that nature heading to Florida. So that kind of confounded and clogged up the system a little bit more so as well. All right, let's roll through this travel forecast because you know what? It's going to be a dicey one. As we head into early tomorrow morning, look at that big old system further to the north, that snowmaker up towards Minneapolis, Chicagoland. So we've got heavy rain and sleet today in Buffalo getting rolling with a high wind warning, winter storm warning to come there, and then blizzard-like conditions. So if there's a part of the country that sees everything weather-wise but the kitchen sink, it's probably going to be Western New York. They are just in for a shellacking here. And I don't just mean what the Bills are going to do to the Eagles today. I mean, I'm talking about weather-wise. That's for you, Noah. Noah, our director's a big Eagles fan, so we're going to have a little fun with him today. Now, in all honesty, it should be a great game, so looking forward to that. Anyway, I digress. A little football forecast in there as well. So, so they have the rain first in Buffalo. They've got tomorrow what will likely be 65 tropical storm force, 65 mile an hour tropical storm force winds with that high wind warning. Eventually, I think you're going to see a blizzard warning in that part of the U.S. and Western New York as that storm system starts to get rolling. So this is tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And let me throw the old man cheaters back on here for a second. So, all right, so here's the story. So there's that pocket of snow as I just circled. But Western New York here, you've got this line of frozen rain gearing up, and then all rain to the south with the front. So on the northern side of it, it's a classic kind of cold front setup here. You've got just some wicked weather ahead of the front and behind the front with falling and crashing temperatures and just some, nasty winds blowing through there in Western New York here, producing the snow in Syracuse, in Buffalo, in through Rochester, areas like that. And you head into Binghamton as that area of low pressure continues to pinwheel and that frontal boundary moves on through. So unfortunately for us here in Florida, guess what? We probably get almost no rain. We have a 10% chance of rain. I would like to see it be a little higher, but that front, at least the rain with it, is going to fall apart as it tries moving through Florida. So as you can tell, as we head in towards Tuesday afternoon, there's the front. It's well offshore, and we probably get goose-egged on the rain, unfortunately. But, my friends, look at the temperatures here. Not so warm. Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, our friends in Jacksonville are at 48 degrees. Tampa, we're at 56 at 1 o'clock. 56 degrees. And I think on Tuesday, I don't think we're going to get out of the 50s for high temperatures. All right, so Wednesday, a little bit better. Maybe at 1 o'clock, we're at 56. As we head in towards 7 o'clock, we're at 50. So, yeah, maybe not either on Wednesday. And, you know, although at 4 a.m. Thursday morning, early Thursday morning, New Year's Day, we're at 50 degrees. It's a lot better than Minneapolis is -2, where Chicago's 9 degrees. And then as your New Year's Day rolls along, 2 o'clock, we're at 67. Looks like a little pocket of snow New Year's Day for Maryland, Washington, D.C., West Virginia, even into New Jersey as well. And then that little mezzo-low kind of spins out of there, that little weaker area of low pressure. And then, you know, by Friday, we're certainly warmed up, and the wicked air isn't quite as wicked as it was. And I'm not going to say all is right in the world, but as we head in towards Saturday, look at that. Maybe a couple showers Saturday towards Jacksonville and Ponte Vedra and in towards the Panhandle. But most of this rain will go by to the north of North Florida, moving in towards Georgia, of course, creating some issues, I'm sure, at Atlanta's Hartsfield International Airport. All right, so why, oh, why is this happening? Well, there it is. There is our friend. Look at that. Ooh, Nelly. Look at that cold air. Look at that Siberian Express just chugging on down. Chugging, chugging, chugging. Here we go. Here's the path of that cold air. As my good friend Dora the Explorer once said, "Hace frio." Yeah, there it is. Moving all the way down in towards Florida as we head in towards New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. It moderates a little bit finally as this thing kind of pulls on out of here. And you can see that wickedly cold air, the Arctic air, the polar vortex. There it is, right there. So, you know, big ridge tries to develop in the west, so you got high pressure out here, you know, forcing the jet up and over. And then here's the other side of the roller coaster, kind of coming down here into the trough. And there it is, chugging along, there it is. So, but this green here is sort of the zonal flow. This is kind of, you know, coolish and cold, and this is just really cold. So, and then that'll continue to zip out of here, moving off to the east. You can see that Arctic air retreats, which is good news. So we're going to keep that stuff up here, up in Canada, and leave it there. The ridge in the west kind of flattens out. So there it is here, not quite as elongated, not quite as bubbled up, if you will. And there it is, sort of in here like that. So sort of a flatter ridge, almost trying to get back to more of a zonal flow, straight west to east flow. And, you know, that's sort of the closest I've seen it to zonal flow here. This is Monday, January 5th, the closest I've seen it in ages. We've had this wicked ridge in the west, but that's about as near normal as you're going to get here. So this is Monday, the beginning of January. But watch what happens. So that sort of zonal flow sort of lends itself really well to this digging trough in the east. And, you know, that's not a good pattern. That is a negatively tilted trough right here. Here it is. There's the tilt. That's why it's negative. This is a big time snow setup for the Northeast. You get one of those troughs that get negatively tilted like that, and that's when you get some hammering. So if we have the moisture available or stuff to work with, that could create some issues in New England and the Northeast. Those negatively tilted troughs do really well for snowstorms in the Northeast. So anyway, that storm setup is there. And then look what happens on Wednesday, January 7th. Not looking fantastic either. The colder air drives further south again. So maybe another shot, more weather impact alerts likely for us. So as we head into the new year, then about a week later, another shot of some colder air as well. All right, so forecasted low temperatures, first and foremost. First blow of cold air is Wednesday, New Year's Eve morning. Crystal River. Hello, 31 degrees there. Brooksville, 32. That's going to leave a mark. All right, we'll talk more about it coming up. We're going to take another quick break. And then after the break, I'll be back with some, a little more weather, some final thoughts, and a local forecast for you, including your 7-day forecast. Stay tuned, stay put, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This autumn, give your home the upgrade it deserves. Save up to 20% during California Closet's Autumn Upgrade event, making it easier than ever to transform your space with our select finishes. Whether it's a walk-in closet, home office, pantry, or garage, our designs are about more than organization. They're about creating space for what belongs. We call it practical magic, expert design that feels effortless. Visit one of our 3 Tampa Bay showrooms or schedule your complimentary consultation today at CaliforniaClosetsTampaBay.com.
I was driving when an 18-wheeler turned in front of me. I locked up my brakes, bam, slid dead into the truck. Bloody and hurt, I was loaded into an ambulance, and that's when I put out my phone and called attorney Dan Newton. Dan jumped right on it. He was in my corner the whole way. He fought the fight from beginning to end and got me $1 million.
Involved in a car accident? Call me now at 813-888-8000.
Dan, your awesome team deserves 6 stars. Thank you for winning my case.
Before hurricane season hits, it's time to prep your home. Familiarize yourself with where your water shutoff valve is located. If backflow prevention devices are installed, get them tested annually.
Those are some great tips, and Cool Today is here to help you weather the storm. For over 60 years, we've been here to help Floridians with their cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. We can help you prepare, protect, and repair your home. Call 888-40-TODAY.
Jeopardy is for everybody.
That's amazing. Oh, yeah.
With players just like you.
Paramedic, a retired teacher, psychiatrist.
I'm a little bit competitive.
That's the spirit.
Watch their victories.
We have a giant killer.
And heartbreaks.
Oh, no.
The next super champion could be anyone.
It's almost like a superhero origin story.
It could be you.
Oh, wow.
It's all happening on Jeopardy.
Jeopardy weeknights at 7:30, right here on 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, everyone, welcome back. Yeah, we talked about before the break those cold temperatures, forecasted low temperatures, Brooksville, Crystal River. This is Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. You can see the top of the map there. Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. And there it is. So cold stuff. Tampa's at 41, Carrollwood at 41 as well, Clearwater at 43. But yeah, you headed into frostproof. I don't know how frostproof is going to be as we head into Wednesday morning. Sebring at 35, Wauchula at 35. Obviously a little bit, I'm not even going to say milder. That's sort of a misnomer. I'm going to say a little bit less cold, right, closer to the beach. But you get further inland, and that's, it's cold. So, you got to bundle up. Dangerous cold for many if you don't have heat, if you don't own cold weather gear, jackets, things of that nature. If you're heading out, that legit is a hat and gloves kind of forecast and what you need for Wednesday morning. That's not only Florida cold, that is just full-on cold, normal cold. All right, normal cold. All right, so rain forecast looks like this. It's good today. The bay is fantastic. We got smooth and glass conditions. The Gulf looks great. Sunburn index of 4. So don't forget the shades and maybe even some sunblock, particularly. You could still garner a sunburn this time of year. All right, so your forecast for today, about 76, mostly sunny skies. It looks great. The fog is done. However, we're going to kind of play this game once again tonight. We're going to bring back the fog. Same sort of setup, unfortunately. So mindful of that tomorrow morning. Give yourself some extra time. Increase your following distances on the roadways, 75 to 75, I-4, usual suspects. All right, tonight, 61, fog returns, unfortunately, so it's kind of like pick your displeasure. We will have another weather impact alert in place for tomorrow morning for the fog once again. So we already know that's kind of a foregone conclusion. And then tomorrow, after the fog, it's a nice afternoon, slightly milder than today, 77 going to do it. It's above normal for this time of year. Normal high should be closer to 72, 73. So we're above that, but don't get too used to that. Enjoy it while we have it because we've got a little cold snap heading our way as we move into the middle of the week, just in time for the new year. And look at that. Look at all the red on the screen. So this morning and tomorrow morning for the fog. That's why we have our weather impact alerts in place. Both afternoons are much, much better and fine. Tuesday is the only day we don't have any sort of weather impact alert of the next 5. Now, obviously, at the end of the 7-day, Friday and Saturday are fine. But Tuesday, you're fine. We've got no fog, but the cold air is starting to penetrate and starting to make moves through Florida from north to south as that cold front sweeps in from north to south. Wednesday and Thursday, there it is. Wednesday morning, probably the coldest morning with those overnight lows as I showed you, close to freezing up in the Nature Coast and, low 40s. That's without the wind. You add the wind chill in there and it's below freezing, I think for most of us. What it feels like below freezing. That's with the wind. All right, on Thursday, New Year's Day, cold again in the morning, hence the red bar for the first half of the day. That's our weather impact alert for Thursday morning. And then finally, New Year's Day, we kind of ease out of it. High temp, 64, below the norm. So we have below normal high temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 5 days. There we go. 5 days for below normal temperatures. All right, everyone, thanks for joining me. I am 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist James Gregorio. Meteorologist Colleen Campbell will be in later today. She will talk to you